Hi guys, welcome to Multiverse. One question that often gets asked is how can you level up faster? I've already made a video explaining how to reach level 30 a little bit faster, and I've just reached level 30 with my friend the Red Robin Hood, or we could call it the Red Hood. So you can see where there's the little flame, that is the actual level of my character, which is level 30. And if you see right to the right, a little bit more to the right of the name, you see the number 25. That's the combat rating of my character. Basically, once you reach level 30, your level doesn't really matter anymore. What becomes your true level is actually your combat rating. So if we look at our character right here into stats, if we go all the way down, we can see our combat rating is 25 and our equipped combat rating is 25. How is that possible since my character is level 30? It's quite simple, is that I was able to reach level 30 very quickly because this character used the LexCore starter pack. So technically I have the gear that I should have when I was, if I was let's say level 25. But because of the LexCore starter pack, I was able to reach level 30 faster, so my gear doesn't really reflect the strength of my character. So basically I'm going to need to improve the quality of my gear if I want to be able to raise the combat rating of my character. There's a few ways to be able to do that. The very first way that I suggest is to come see this little guy over here, Dr. DeSanto. And you will see that Dr. DeSanto sells a few utility belt. He sells an item level 44 utility belt and an item 54 utility belt. I strongly suggest purchase the item 54 utility belt. That will give a boost to your combat rating right away. I will not purchase the belt from our friend because usually once you reach level 30, you should have a whole bunch of marks of victory. Sadly, I've used up a bunch of my marks of victory to be able to purchase some mods for my character. I don't usually do that before level 30, but in this case, I had plenty of marks of victory to be able to have white mods on my character right away, so I decided to do that. So again, the first way would be purchase the utility belt from that little guy. That will give a boost to your combat rating right away. It's fairly inexpensive, 11 marks of victory, and it will boost your combat rating. Technically, you could try to purchase this gear over here, but it requires a cooperative renown with a Wayne Tech. So once you reach level 30, in the past you would be able to purchase this gear once you reach level 30, but nowadays you reach level 30 so fast that there's no way you have the renown to be able to purchase that gear. So the first option, purchase the utility belt from Dr. DeSanto. I'm not going to purchase the utility belt, as I said, because first I don't have the marks of victory for that, but also at the last Halloween I was really lucky and I got the bootility belt for my character, so I'm going to use the bootility belt instead. So sadly it would seem that combat rating 25 is the actual combat rating of our character. Not a big deal, we're going to fix that in just a second. When you play the vault, usually you receive one piece of gear every time you play the vault. What I strongly suggest is that do not use that gear right away. I would strongly suggest keep that gear in your inventory until you reach level 30 and only use it once you reach level 30. It's pretty much pointless to use it before you reach level 30. So with these characters, I have 3 items that I got from the vault. I have a weapon pack, I have a chest piece, and I have a neck piece. So my chest piece is item level 25, the weapons it's 19, and the neck piece is 18. So I will use the neck piece first. So it gives me a neck piece item level 23. Then I will use the weapon. So it gives me an item level 24 weapon. So let's equip that. And the chest piece. Sadly, the chest piece didn't really help us. The reason why our HSPs didn't really help us is because of our rings. Our rings pretty much keeps our combat rating really low. It stinks, but it happens. What can you do? The second way that you can speed up the process is you can come here to the broker and you can decide to purchase some gear to try to increase the strength of your character. Ideally, you want to purchase items that are as valuable as possible or as high level as possible within obviously the amount of cash that you have. So right now we could purchase an item level for the pistols. So you could decide to purchase some weapons, or you could decide to purchase some armor to increase the combat rating of your character. So as you see, some of those can be a bit pricey, but if you can afford it, it's an easy way to be able to increase the combat rating of your character very quickly. So you can pretty much do that for every pieces of gear. So roughly you try to get the best gear you can for as cheaply as possible. For the neck and the rings, I will show you another way that will help you to increase your combat rating. But for everything else, you can just come to the broker and you can try to purchase the highest level gear you can in order to be able to help you progress a little bit faster. So here we're going to purchase a pistol item level 40. Sadly, this is all I can afford with this character right now. Obviously, I could purchase a few other items if I used my main character, but let's not do that for now. So as you can see, we were able to raise our combat rating to 28. Obviously, another option to be able to raise your combat rating quickly is to purchase gear from our friend Steel over here.
Only a 10-ton hero can handle this baby. Show me you're ready and we'll start your rig.
So you can see our friend Steel is selling item level 46, but it requires a whole bunch of marks of victory in order to be able to purchase those items. Personally, I don't suggest buying items from Steel, because when you start playing tier 1 missions, you will gain gear from playing those missions. So I don't really see the point of purchasing gear from Steel. Simply play the tier 1 missions, and you should be able to get some fairly good gear from those missions. I guess to get the better gear at this point would probably be to play missions like Smallville or Ace Chemicals, or even the Watchtower Containment Facility. Sadly, you need a full group in order to be able to play those missions. And early on, it may be a bit difficult to find a good group to be able to play those missions. Although with Area 51, since you can get some Electrum from Area 51, a whole bunch of players will probably want to play that missions at least once a week, not long after the reset. If this is not your first character, there is another way that you can increase your combat rating a little bit faster. We're going to switch to another character in order to be able to show you how. Once you reach level 30, when you play the vault, you have a chance to get gold rings and gold neck pieces. And those gold rings and gold neck pieces scale up to the level of your character. So if you play the vault with a level 30 character, or a combat rating 30 character, you will get a level 30 ring. If you play the vault with a combat rating 55 character, you should get an item level 55 ring, and so on. The maximum item level these items can be is item level 78. But the great thing about those yellow rings and those yellow neck pieces is that you can trade them to all your characters. Let's do just that. Also, you can see the various neck pieces have abilities depending on which role you're playing. For our friend the Red Hood, we're going to give him a neck piece that gives him a small chance to inflict critical damage. And for the rings, we're going to give our friend Red Hood rings that have a red socket. So we're going to put the neck piece in our shirt bank, the rings in our shirt bank, and we're going to give those to our friend the Red Hood. Also, another trick that you can do is that you can just keep those in your shirt bank. As soon as you have those in your shirt bank, any of your character that will log in will increase their combat rating thanks to those rings. So if you have a whole bunch of low-level characters, as soon as they log in, their overall combat rating will increase just because you have those rings and that neck piece in your shirt bank. So let's switch back to our friend the Red Hood. So again, you can see the combat rating of our friend the Red Hood is still combat rating 28. But if we look at his actual combat rating, his combat rating went up to 37. That is by just having the two rings and the neck piece in the shirt bank. So what you could do if you want to be able to increase the combat rating of all of your characters, you could just leave the rings and the neck pieces in your shirt bank if you want to. But we're going to equip those items on our friend the Red Hood, so let's do that right now. So let's equip the neck piece, and let's equip the two rings. So if we look at the combat rating of our character, as you can see now, the equipped combat rating matches with the combat rating. And the fantastic thing about those yellow rings is that you can trade them anytime you want. If you want to be able to trade those yellow rings over and over to your other characters, don't ever put a mod in those rings. As long as you don't put a mod in those rings, you can trade those rings to your other characters. As you can see, it says account bound. Sadly, as soon as you put a red mod into your rings, you're not going to be able to trade them anymore. And the yellow neck piece, you should be able to trade it to infinity to your characters. So whenever you have a low level character, you give them two yellow rings and a yellow neck piece, and you're going to give them quite a boost in terms of combat rating. Sadly, in order to be able to do that, you must have a high level character that has some item level 78 neck pieces and rings. And the last way that you can have your character gain combat rating faster is to use gear from time capsules. In this case, we're going to use the high density tactical belt box, the green arrow belt, basically. So again, right now, our combat rating is 37. So if we use the green arrow belt, we should be able to increase that at least a little bit. So you can see the little box gave us an item level 37 belt for our character. Let's consume the little plan. And let's equip the belt. So we had a level item 24 belt. Now we have a level 37 belt. So overall, we were able to raise our combat rating to 38. You could either purchase that gear from the broker, again, if you can afford it, or you could open time capsules and hope to get lucky and get some gear. So these are pretty much the ways that you can increase the combat rating of your character faster at tier 1. And obviously, last but not least, just run tier 1 missions and you should be able to get some gear fairly quickly. Again, if you play the 4-player missions, that's probably where you can get the best gear. But again, finding a group sometimes can be a bit challenging. So if you don't have a group, play the solo missions. Usually with the duo, you should be able to play the duo fairly easily. And for the 4-player missions, basically queue for the 4-player missions and play some solo missions while you wait for the queue to pop. So as you saw, we were able to go from combat rating 25 to combat rating 38 as soon as we reach level 30. But again, depending on if this is your first character, it's going to be a bit more difficult. But if you have other characters that can help out your new character, it's going to be a lot easier. So if you have some yellow rings on one of your other characters, you can give them to your low level character and help it level up faster. Or you could purchase gear from the broker, give it to your low level character, and again, it will increase the combat rating of your low level character a little bit faster. So at tier 1, These are pretty much the ways that you can raise the combat rating of your character a little bit faster. With a bit of luck, you could easily go from level 30 to tier 2, but you have to be a bit lucky, and you have to have basically the yellow rings and the yellow neck piece. I'm going to play the Joker's Funhouse and see what kind of gear we can get from that mission.
Just you wait.
So I played the tier 1 Funhouse mission, so let's take a look. So by playing this one mission, we got a belt that sadly is not as good as the one we already have, but we got a pair of shoulders, so let's use that. We got a headpiece, let's use that. We got just a style, some renown, and also there's the weekly award. If we're lucky, maybe we'll get something good from there. Let's take a look. We'll get a plan. It happens. And we also got a Prometheum log boxes, but all we can hope for that from that is a style. So this one mission was able to raise our combat rating to 40. We were a bit lucky. We got basically 2 items that we could use for our character. So this is roughly how you can increase the combat rating of your character a little faster once you reach tier 1. Obviously, some of those options can only be used if you already have a high level character that can give gear to your low level character, or that can give cash to your low level character to purchase some gear on the broker. But if at the very least you purchase the utility belt from the vendor in the watchtower, that should give a boost to your character right there and then. So that's pretty much it for how to increase the combat rating of your character at tier 1. At tier 2, it's going to be a little bit different, so we'll make a video specifically about that. Basically, I will make a video for each tier, because each tier has its own specific ways to be able to increase the combat rating a little faster. So that's pretty much it for now, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to ask so in the comment section down below, and I'll see what I can do about answering your question. So that's it for now, guys. So as always, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time.